practicing, also can get the runs, but not really had their middle to lower order tested too often. And if it has been tested, hasn't always stood up to it. As that one rattles straight into the helmet. We'll have to have a check here. See umpires come together. It's the end of the over as well. 33 runs coming off it. And the umpires do slowly make their way to the captain to check he's okay. In the meantime, Vinny has joined me back into the 10, and that was a bit of a vicious bounce.
It was. It looked like it got some of the arm of the glove and then kind of hit towards the back of the helmet. That can be quite a dangerous area. You see a lot of the modern helmets have extra protection. I suppose the crossweight experiment didn't really work out. I think just trying to give them something different. Well, it was different. But he went magical in the first over. Still having a very good series, and he gives away 12 there. Still favourites here, Wimbledon, but obviously not the kind of start they would have wanted. It's exactly the start CFS would have wanted. And now we're going to get Charlie Whipple. He's always handy to have in the side, isn't he? For many reasons, Charlie. And this first one, though, slightly offline, and it's slapped away almost like a standing sweep shot there. 4 runs to start the third over.
It's just not started at all well here for Wimbledon. Used pretty much their 3 frontline bowlers, William Sewell, captain James Crossway and Charlie Whipple. None of them been able to find their lines. Aya Kadeka scoring the majority of the runs so far, but Faris Haider, he's an able deputy. Just whipping that one away to start the third over. You have to say, though, Wimbledon, they also scored runs in the power play and tailed away. CFS, though, have the advantage of not having lost a wicket so far, as that one gets cut away. Got the fielder at point equal to it.
Yeah, Whipple, if he gets it right, he's going to be super awkward. I think you can see that. Actually gets a little side spin on the ball as well. Well, that's one way to deal with it. Get almost to the pitch and launch him out of the ground. Well, Maximo. That's a very good cricket shot, isn't it? Taking on someone that I think is a bit of a handful. Certain bowlers, I just think, be a bit of a nightmare. I suppose as long as they get it right, Whipple's probably in that category. Kadeka 30 off 11, started really well. That's the change up from Whipple. Shoots through, oh well. A little late to It's been given 6, so they're not even interested, but it was almost like he was doing a little jig out there. By the way, the regulations have changed now, but so I need to have a really good look at this. That looks fine, but now if he is to jump, he needs to be inside the field of play. So because of that, no matter what, even if he wasn't touching the ground and the ball at the same time, it's going to be 6. That's a new rule that's come in just in the last month, to do with boundary catches, and I feel like I'll probably have to spend 4 or 5 overs explaining it. But at the end of the third over, 56 without loss.
I tried to explain it the other day with Rico, because they're stopping exactly this. They call it the bunny hop, because otherwise you could just indefinitely jump and throw.
That most cricket watchers would call ridiculous that have been out. Oh, that's out, and let's say it's ridiculous, but it's exactly what Wimbledon would have liked. So wags the finger as he will send Faris Haider back before he can do too much damage. Faris out for 9 and a wicket to start the fourth over, 56 for 1.
So I know that the law changed for the World Test Championship and it's changed in the ICC playing conditions from last month, I think, or June 2025.
I think it was July 1, but yeah.
Yeah, but
and yeah.
But the MCC's not implementing it until October 2026.
Get it right, everyone. You know, it seems so unnecessary. And also, I believe it changed for men's, but not for women's. Did you know that?
Please.
Just give us a
Please.
break. Okay, but I can explain it as simply as possible, right? So most of the rule, I'll call it a rule because I guess it's not a law yet. I'm always funny with law versus rule. By the way, stump smasher here. Look at the bit of the stump gets knocked off as well. But most of the rule hasn't changed. It always has been, well, not always, recently, it's been as long as you make your first contact before you step out the field of play, then you've activated catch mode, basically, or fine fielding mode. Already feel my explanations become too complicated. But yeah, from that point under the old rule, as long as you were never touching the ball and the boundary at the same time, you could just keep going forever. And so there are some, you can actually jump from outside the field of play. Bearing in mind, you would have had to probably catch it inside and throw it out first. But you can, bunny hop. So you can jump, touch, slap the ball back in or whatever, or throw the ball back in. And it's play on. No ball called here. Yes, Zool probably overstrides there. But now they've made it pretty simple. They've said, okay, we don't want to make it so that you can jump from outside the field of play and then land outside the field of play, and no matter if you touch the ball in the middle or not. So they've basically made it that if you jump, you're allowed to jump from outside the field of play, catch the ball and then land in the field of play, but you can't jump from outside and land outside. This one will be given 4. I think it bounces just inside the rope. But it's actually probably easier to explain when you have a ball and a rope, because you can show kind of what we're talking about. This one, maybe not get a good look at it, fielder in the way, but he called 4 straight away. So, yeah, the other thing is, same thing, if you jump from outside the field of play, and slap it to your teammate, you then still have an obligation to get inside the field of play. And if you don't, there's going to be 6. Anyway, Kadeka will bring up his 50 with 4 blasted through the offside. And, well, the supercomputer is starting to believe, because CFS are our favourites in this game. As I expected. I do fancy myself as a good explainer, but it is hard to talk about theoretical situations with boundary catches. Can I tell you, if I could rewrite the rule from scratch, how I'd rule? I'd go Major League Baseball. As long as you take off from inside the field of play, if you catch it before you hit the ground, good on you.
Yeah.
Because the field's so small now compared to what it used to be. It used to be when you had the fence, you could actually catch the ball leaning against the fence. So a whole different bunch of laws for fence versus rope or line. But I quite like the idea, because in baseball, as long as you take off from field of play, sometimes they catch it and they end up like 3 rows deep, knocking someone's
climbing
nachos.
the rafters.
Not knocking someone's nachos over, and then they show the ball and like, you're out. But I think that would probably be fairer. Because I think even as a batter, if you're not good enough to stop a fielder doing that, you probably don't deserve the 6. But I mean, you would have to complete the catch before you hit the ground, I suppose. End of the 4th over, and it's 69 for 1. But instead, I can understand, they want to work with the rule as they've already got it, and they just want to try and make it a bit, I suppose, more cricket. There's a couple of dismissals that I would categorise them under the it's just not cricket, and most cricket watchers would feel they're unfair. And I will put them in the chat, because that's the kind of guy I am, if I can find them.
Yeah, I saw a video yesterday, I think it was interviewing the 100 players, and they were asking whether they think crowd catches should be legal. So if
Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
Savannah Bananas.
Exactly.
In America. I mean, they are kind of ECN to the max. You are out if you catch a foul ball.
Yeah.
But then also there's like a good guys and a bad guys. They're kind of like Harland. That's going to be in the air fielder. Oh, he's going to knock it over the bar. Maximo. It's Tom Weston coming on his first ball. Provides a challenging opportunity for Joe Baldwin, who flies through the air. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a Maximo? Well, the 3rd time it was, and the result 6 runs.
Good effort from Baldwin. He took off, knew that he just had to throw his hands up and hope for the best, and almost a crowd catch. In the end, it will go for 6s. It's Tom Weston bowling this one. Hat-trick hero from earlier in the series. I'm going to chat with him. That one's going to be less hero, more villain. as it goes away for 4 buys.
Mm.
I think he was saying, yeah, he's probably watched his hat-trick back around 100 million times. That's all the hits we've been having.
Yeah, it said, oh, it's amazing. Somehow it got into our group chat, and I just feel like it's something to do with that.
Here?
So I've put in a couple of catches that now aren't out, because if you, number one, you can't just jump from outside the boundary and touch the ball. But if you've already touched it legally, then you can. But if you do jump from outside, you have to then land inside. This one isn't inside. That is an absolute bomb from Kadeka, who's turning it on here. CFS on the hunt. Maximal 6 carreras más.
When he gets going, the captain, there's not much stopping him. Remember the very first game of this series, he just couldn't get going, and it was actually Faris Hayder, his fellow opener, who got the runs, but Kadeka then found his straps. It looks like he's threatening to go big here as well. That run rate, certainly nothing to be troubled by, less than 13 needed for CFS.
Oh, how did that miss? How did that miss? Just was shaved the leg stump. Kadeka's a big wicket. You feel like if you can get him, you can actually get something going here. But right now, the CFS skipper is taking this game away from the hosts.
Need a bit of magic here. Do Wimbledon. Tom Weston always plays with a smile on his face. He'd smile if he can get the skipper here. That one's knocked away into the leg side. Will just be a single. 1 ball left before halfway. Certainly the win predictor firmly in the CFS camp now.
So, Weston, only 13 in the over, not bad. This one probably isn't a great ball, might bring a wicket. Well, they'll run, because it's definitely something they're going to check. Keeper runs 22 yards to protect the other stumps, but this is a real line ball call. It's very tight. He's out of his crease slightly, he's on the march. Let's have a look. I mean, it is high, and he's kind of tiptoes. I feel like it could go either way, but I think he's got his marching orders. Again, you'd have to judge it at the crease. It looks very high there, but remember, it's still got some time to travel. And it was a pace-off delivery. It was rolled the fingers on it, and so, yeah, felt it was just coming down. So, I mean, have a good look at it. Again, it's a tight call, but arguably the right call. And it will finish the 5th over. And it's 86 for 2. Yeah, I mean, you look at it here and it looks pretty high, but again, what you don't see there, that clearly is he's out of his crease. What a catch, by the way, by Lloyd. He comes up firing. He knows it's a 50-50 call. And, well, it's a handy wicket at least. Quick look at what's coming up with Croatia starting tomorrow. Rico and Fiji will be there for 11 days of action, including T20 Internationals tomorrow, Friday, T10 Internationals, Saturday, Sunday. That's Cyprus men touring, and men's and women's ECS next week. Bit of an awkward one. Almost falls down a wormhole, but does at least make the stop there to keep it to 1. It was always going to be 1. Joe Baldwin coming back. Coming on for the first time, I should say, here in the 6th over. Also, stay tuned. I should mention, I've been teasing this all day, and it might be a nothing. It might be a nothing burger. But I am hoping to get a special guest commentator, ideally for the next game. So stay tuned. And Tina, your voice could probably use a game off.
You're not liking this low octave phone line.
Not ear, nose and throat doctor. But anyway, it's up in the air. Whipple has a play on it, and he'll take the catch. So Prabh Singh doesn't last too long at all. Probably not a game he'll want to remember, as Whipple is going to gallop around the boundary, and he'll create another wicket. So 2 wickets in 3 balls, really. And CFS, 87 for 3.
Suddenly a bit of a turnaround here for Wimbledon. So they get Prabh Singh first ball to add to what was not his best effort behind the stumps. I will say, the pitch, I don't know if it seems to be misbehaving today a bit more than it has the rest of the week. Just pinging off a length, that one pinged straight into the hands of Charlie Whipple. Was able to take it on the run. Wimbledon, they've been one of the more impressive fielding sides out there, taking their opportunities, throwing their bodies on the line. That one gets Joe Baldwin's first wicket off the game, so 87 for 3. Be Mustafa Qureshi coming out here at 5 for CFS, the left-hander.
Pretty good shot. Gets a finger on it there. Tom Wilkins, they're going to go for 2 though because he slowed it down. Oh, very tight too, but they'll get back for it. Qureshi off the mark.